I've seen the creator twice now, and both times I left the movie with the feeling like something was missing. Up until the attack in Diandan, where Joshua and Alfie are separated, I was really into it. The brutality and injustice was heartbreaking to watch, and you really, really want to see the characters finally destroy the super weapon that is Nomad. And that only makes the last bit of the movie kind of underwhelming in comparison. Because to me, this last part was the part I had the most problems with. It was very rushed, I didn't feel the emotions the movie wanted me to feel, and again, I just felt like we were missing just something to tie it all together. And I think that something had to do with the characters. Because you see, we didn't really get a true turning point for Joshua. I mean, we get why he would feel upset that Alfie got hurt, because robot or not, she is still a child, and we get why he would be more emotionally vulnerable after seeing his wife for the last time. We get why, after seeing everything the humans are doing to the robots, he would become disillusioned and unsupportive of the human side of the war. But I think we just needed a scene to really nail this down, to show that he is really internalizing this, to show that he now truly knows he was wrong and he has to do something about it. Also, and this is a bigger problem for me, Alfie felt kind of like a nothing character. I don't mean that she doesn't have like a place in the story, I just mean that she didn't really have a personality or like a goal, which is kind of wild since she is basically the second main character. All she does is just follow Joshua and the other characters around. With the bare exception of this one scene where she ignores Joshua so she can help the villagers. Which is honestly what I was expecting more of, especially since this shot in the trailer made me think she was going to do something more with her powers. We know that she wants the robots to be free. We are told this.
What do you want, sweetie?
For robots to be free.
But in her mind, what steps does she want to take to reach this goal? What active role does she want to take? Because as it stands, she is a very passive character who just does what she's told. I mean, this passiveness works for a character like Baby Yoda because he is a baby, but it doesn't work for Alfie. She should get to do something of her own accord, for her own goals. Also, her role in the climax is super underwhelming when all she really does is turn Nomad off and on again, and that leaves a lot to be desired, especially since we've been told that she has the potential to be the most powerful weapon in the world. I know the point is that she's still growing and she isn't strong enough to take down Nomad yet, but that doesn't mean her role had to feel so lacking and emotionally void. So I'm proposing two small changes. One scene added just before the climax, and one bit of lore changed in the preceding story. The change I'm making to the preceding story is this. Alfie knows what her purpose is. She knows what the robots are planning for her, at least to the extent that she was made to destroy Nomad. However, she does not know that she will likely die in the process. In the movie, she is not aware of any of this. This is something that Joshua overhears from her room in the middle of the movie, and it's framed as like a sad reveal. But it's a reveal that doesn't really go anywhere. This bit of information doesn't hit Joshua. Alfie never even finds out about this. It just kept me wondering, what would happen if she knew? Would she feel betrayed? Would she be upset? The movie makes the case that the robots are just as quote-unquote human as the humans, that the brutality they face is not justified and based on basically nothing. Alfie may have been a little sad that she, as a non-human, can't go to heaven, but ultimately that doesn't really affect her because she is a robot and she knows that a robot is not less than a human. How would she feel though if she found out that she wasn't even made to be a robot? That she was made to be a weapon, made to destroy and be destroyed? How would that impact her idea of personhood? Or would she be okay with it? Would she be willing to sacrifice herself because she knows that it's the only way robots can be free? How does Joshua feel about this? Does he find it unfair that Alfie's own fate is kept a secret from her? Does he feel more protective of her because of this, despite the fact that she is a robot? What I'm saying is, there's a lot you can do with the information Joshua overhears. You could raise emotional stakes. You could give Alfie some personality and even some internal conflict. Changing it so that Alfie knows the plan gives her character a more concrete goal and direction than a general freeing all the robots. She knows how to achieve this. She has to destroy Nomad, and they're just waiting for her to be strong enough. She just doesn't know, at least we think she doesn't know, that she might die in the process. And with this in mind, let's move on to the next change, an additional scene right before the climax. This will take place after they escape from the military, but before they embark on the space ride to Nomad. After Joshua frees Alfie from the car crash they caused, Joshua wants to go into hiding, just for a bit, and figure out what their next steps are. He is starting to side with the robots, but he also doesn't want to be rash. He wants to keep Alfie safe, especially since he now knows she might be sacrificed. Alfie, however, knows that the US is about to launch nomad attacks on all the robot rebels, and she doesn't want to wait. She wants to invoke her purpose. She wants to go to Nomad right away, and she angrily tells Joshua this. She has to go now. If she waits, her people will die. She knows that she isn't strong enough right now, but she has to try before there is nothing left to save. And this is when Joshua drops the truth on her. She will die. She has to destroy Nomad from within, and she will die with it. Maybe he expects her to understand. Maybe he expects her to change her mind. But she says, with tears and determination, I know. And this shocks Joshua. This whole time she knew. She must have figured it out herself. She knows, but she's willing to do it anyway. This is Joshua's full turning point. He realizes that humans have created a world so terrible that a child, AI or not, is willing to sacrifice herself to make a safer world, and he was complicit. He was part of this creation. And the only way to fix this is by destroying Nomad. Not later, now. But despite all this, he can't let Alfie sacrifice herself. It's not right. It's not a price that she should have to pay. So he comes up with a new plan. A plan that won't get Alfie killed. He will come with her. He will handle the brunt of the attack. All Alfie has to do is turn Nomad off so he can do the work. This is a plan that will destroy Nomad. This is a plan that will keep Alfie safe. And this means everything to Alfie. Alfie who would do anything to save her kind. Alfie who knew she would die. Alfie who has accepted her fate just minutes ago. But now here's someone who is saying, no, you are not dying. I won't let it happen. You get to see the world that you saved. You get to see your people free. So she accepts this new plan. Because despite everything, she wants to live too. The rest of the movie plays out like it already does, but now there is a new context to it. Alfie has played an active part in her own story. She made her own thoughts and opinions known. Her role in the takedown of Nomad is still small, but what felt like an underutilization of her and her powers now takes on a stronger, more emotionally resonant undertone, because now we have an understanding of why. Her role was small because it is the only way she can live.